Yatra program is live, no Prabhu?
Yes, 3rd to 8th of November.
Yes, 3rd to 8th of November.
Mayapur.
So people who are interested, they can join. Already it's in the group. Okay, they can join, they can come to the yatra, they can associate with the devotees. That will be very nice. 3rd November to 8th November. The links are in the group. Okay. So you can start booking, and you can come to the yatra. Okay.
Pickup is from Kolkata.
Yes. So you can book your tickets to Kolkata.
Flight and Howrah for train.
Yeah, from Howrah, train is there, Prabhu? Or how?
From Howrah, they'll pick up, and 4-wheeler vehicles will take them. 3 hours drive to Mayapur.
Yes. So from Howrah there.
Yes, 3 hours. Yes.
Yes.
All the packages are given in our group.
Groups. Yes.
Yeah. 3 sharing, 4 sharing, 6 sharing, 10 sharing.
Okay. So today chapter number 13. Hare Krishna devotees, I welcome you all to chapter number 13. Kshetra, Kshetragya, Vibhag Yoga. Okay. So nature, enjoyer, and the consciousness. So we are little bit difficult chapter today. Okay. So I'll encourage you to focus today. I'll try to make this chapter as easy as possible. Because of many terms are there, many different new terms are there. That's why this chapter seems to be a little difficult. But I'll try to make it a little simple so that you can understand it. Okay. So let's start with Mangalacharan. Om Agyana Timirandhasya Gyananjana Shalakya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Mano Abhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutpadakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadhavaitam Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitam Cha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitinamine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So the teachings is based on the teachings of His Divine Grace Sri Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. He is founder Acharya of ISKCON, and we pay our humble obeisances and to His lotus feet so that His teachings we can apply in our life. Okay. So let's see what we have learned in till now. Okay, so we have learned till now that there are 3 sections of Bhagavad Gita. Okay, 3 sections. The first 6 chapter, if you concentrate here, okay, this we have discussed earlier only, where we have seen that Bhagavad Gita is like a jewel box. Okay, jewel box. So in the jewel box, there is upper covering, that is first 6 chapter, that is Karma Yoga. Lower 6 chapters are called Jnana Yoga, 13 to 18 chapter, and the middle chapters are called the Bhakti Yoga, 7 to 12 chapters. Okay, so middle chapter we have finished, Karma Yoga we have finished. Now we are going to enter the Jnana Yoga sections. Okay, so similar that thing is only depicted here. The first section, 1 to 6 sloka is the Karma Yoga section, where we have learned that distinction between the body and soul, where we have learned about the karma, okay, where we have learned the different types of yoga. So that we have seen in the first 6 chapters. If you see here, Bhakti Yoga is written. Why Bhakti Yoga is written? Because ultimately, if you see most of the chapter, Krishna ending with the chapter, Krishna is ending that Bhakti Yoga is the best. Okay, and Prabhupada will be highlighting the Bhakti Yoga most of the chapter, so that we become focused as Bhakti Yoga. Okay, after Krishna describes all the yoga, lastly Krishna says, you don't have to remember all things, just focus on me. So Prabhupada knows that, and he writes everywhere highlighting the Bhakti Yoga, so that we don't become distracted from the starting. Okay, so ultimately Krishna will be saying Sarva Dharman Parityajya Maam Ekam Sharanam Vraja. Okay, leave all variety of religion, just come to my just surrender to me. Okay. The Bhakti Yoga Krishna is ultimately, after describing all the yoga, Krishna is saying the Bhakti Yoga is best. That's why Prabhupada don't want us to be distracted from early, and he will be writing Bhakti Yoga from the starting. Okay, so that we don't know, so that we don't distract ourselves from the Bhakti. So the first 6 chapter, the ultimate final conclusion is Bhakti only. The middle 6 chapter is the Bhakti Yoga chapter. There also the Bhakti is the final conclusion. We have learned the more confidential knowledge and most confidential knowledge. More confidential knowledge means knowledge of the devotional service. Most confidential knowledge is pure devotional service knowledge and how Krishna reciprocate. Okay, so that was the second chapter. And third part, that was the second part. Third part is the Jnana Yoga section, where we are going to see the Jnana Yoga section, that is the knowledge part and the perfection of Jnana. What is the perfection of Jnana? What is the meaning of achieving all the Jnana? After achieving all the Jnana, finally surrender to Krishna. That is the ultimate thing. Okay, so that chapter, that thing also leads finally to the Bhakti Yoga only. So if you see, all the sections ends in Bhakti Yoga. Okay, so that is the difference when we learn from a devotee, when we hear from a devotee, when we read Bhagavad Gita as it is from a devotee. Okay, then we are focused on Bhakti. So that's why it is important. Okay, so 3 sections of Bhakti Yoga, Bhagavad Gita we have seen. So now the last chapter we have seen these 3 things: Godhead, options, and devotee disposition. Let's summarize. Let's quickly review. Then we'll move to 13th chapter. So we have started with the Godhead part. So whom to worship? Whether the unmanifested form, the universal form we should worship, or Krishna's personal form we should worship. Who is better? Personalists are better or impersonalists are better? Krishna says, whether you are personalist or impersonalist, finally will come back to me only. Okay, the final goal is me only. But the path of impersonalism, the path of worshipping the impersonal form, the Brahman form, is very difficult. Klesho adhika. Okay, it is very full of klesha. Okay, full of dukkha. The progress in that path is very troublesome. Okay, and then he describes the bhakti is very simple, easy to fix mind on Krishna. Okay, Krishna personally protects. Okay, easy to engage the senses in service of Krishna. So that we have seen the 2 different things, the personalist versus impersonalist. So we knew now that personalist worship is better. Okay. Now the options, what are the options to perform the personalist service? That is the Bhakti Yoga options. Krishna describes 6 options. The foremost is the devote your mind and intelligence in Krishna's service. Okay. Always think about Krishna. Always remember Krishna. Always be in yoga with Krishna. Be a yogi. Okay. So that was the thing, the most perfect. Second was follow the path of regulative principles. Follow the regulative principles. Okay, so many regulative principles are there. Of them, the basic were 4 pillars of dharma: no meat eating, no gambling, no intoxication, no illicit sex. Okay, that we have seen. Then we have seen the third part: work for Krishna. Many people already engage in the service of Krishna. Many people, they have the restriction, familial restriction, religious restriction. Okay, or the society where they live, restrictions are there. Okay, they cannot directly perform the Krishna service always. So what to do? Many people are already engaged. Try to help them. Okay, so that is the third option: work for Krishna. Fourth option is giving up your fruits of action. Okay, philanthropic activity. Okay, some people go to hospital, they donate. Some people go to the charity, they donate. Okay, so philanthropic activity is the fourth option. Fifth option is meditation on the Paramatma form of Lord, and sixth option is the attaining knowledge about the Lord. Okay, so these are the 6 options from the highest to the lowest, like that. Okay, so options we have is 8 to 12. Then devotee disposition. Krishna describes which type of devotees are very dear to Krishna. Krishna describes symptoms of the devotee: nirmama. There is no the person who is not affected by the material condition, neither happiness nor distress. Okay, nor man samman. He is indifferent to all those things. Krishna is he is very dear to Krishna. Lastly, Krishna says, a person who makes me goal of his life, that person is very, 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 very dear to me. Okay, so that was the thing we have learned in the 12th chapter. Finally, we ended with 12 steps of bhakti. Okay, 12 stages of bhakti, which starts with the faith and ends with the prema. Okay, so that we have seen in the yesterday's class. So now we are going to see chapter number 13. Chapter name is Nature, Enjoyer, and the Consciousness. Okay. Okay. So the chapter mnemonic is wise. Okay. W-I-S-E, wise. It starts with wise question. So Arjuna again starting with the wise question. Arjuna is asking a few questions. And second is the items of knowledge. Third is the soul and the super soul. And fourth is enjoyer and the Jnana Chakshu. Okay. So when we hear these questions, wise question, then we understand all these topics. Okay. All these topics are from this wise question. So today's mnemonic is wise, and we'll start with the first part, that is wise questions. Okay. So Arjuna is asking with Arjuna is starting this chapter with a question. Arjuna's question is very intelligent, as you know. Okay. So let's see what is that question of Arjuna is. 13.1, first sloka. Arjuna is saying, Arjun uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetragyam evacha etad veditum ikshami jnanam geyam cha Keshava. Arjun said, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about the Prakriti, Purusha, the field and the knower of the field, the knowledge and the object of the knowledge." So 6 things Arjuna is asking. Prakriti, Purusha, field and the knower of the field, knowledge and the object of the knowledge. Okay. So we have made it this type of form for the questions. Okay. Like Arjuna's 6th question is, what is Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam and Geyam. Okay. So let's see what Krishna answers. So answers are in red. Okay. So we have put the answer in the red part. So first question is, what is Prakriti? Arjuna is asking, what is Prakriti? What is this nature? Okay. So Prakriti is the first question. Then Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragya, Jnanam and Geyam. Okay. So Krishna says the ever-changing material nature is called the Prakriti. Okay. The material nature which is changing every time, every second, that is called the Prakriti. It goes with 6 steps. Okay. So those things are described in the Prakriti part, the material nature. Okay. Then second part is, what is Purusha? Purusha is the Jiva who is enjoying this Prakriti. Okay. So Prakriti is there and Purusha is there. Purusha is a person or the Jiva who is trying to enjoy this Prakriti. The Jiva part is called the Purusha. Okay. So what is the Purusha? The Jiva or the Atma is called the Purusha, enjoyer of this Prakriti. There is one Param Purusha also. Who is that Param Purusha? Who is enjoyer of everything? Us as well as Prakriti, as well as spiritual nature, everything. Param Purusha is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan Sri Krishna. Okay. So Param Purusha, that is Param Purusha. We are Purusha who is just trying to enjoy this material nature, the Jiva. Then what is the Kshetra? So Jiva is working somewhere. Where the Jiva is working? What is the medium of working of the Jiva in this material world? And that medium is called the Kshetra, or the body, or the Sariram. Okay. So the Sarira is called the Kshetra, where the Jiva is working. Okay. So, and to understand this example, we have this example. Okay. This is a field. And in this field, this is Kshetra, or a Kshetra means or a place or a field where a farmer is working. So this farmer is working in this field. Okay. So this is Jiva. And this this field is called the Kshetra. Okay. Now one more thing. Who is Kshetragya? Kshetragya means knower of this field. So this field is known by this farmer because this farmer belongs to this field. But there is one more person who knows about this field, and that person is the king or the government. Okay. Government not only know about this field, but government know about every field which is there in this kingdom. King knows about every field which is there in this kingdom. So this field belongs to this farmer as well as this king. Every field which is there in his kingdom belongs to the king also. Okay. So there are 2 knowers of this field. One, who is the Kshetragya, who is the knowers of this field. One is the super soul, or super soul is like the king. Okay. Super soul, which is there inside our heart, as well as the soul, the living entity. So knower of this field are 2. One is the soul, second is the super soul. Soul as well as super soul, both are there inside our heart, and both know about our body. Okay. So what is Kshetra? Kshetra is this body. What is Kshetragya? Knower of this body are the soul as well as super soul. Okay. Then what is Jnana? Jnana means to know about the Kshetra and the Kshetragya. Kshetragya are these two, soul and the super soul. So to know, understand about the Kshetra and Kshetragya is called the Jnana. Okay. And what is Gayam? Ultimate goal of the knowledge is the Paramatma, ultimate goal of knowledge. Sixth question, little bit difficult now. So many terms are there in this chapter. That's why it is a little bit difficult. So let's revise quickly so that it will become consolidated. What is Prakriti? This material nature is the Prakriti. What is Purusha? The person who is enjoying this material nature is called the Purusha. That is the Jiva. Where the Jiva is working? Jiva is working in the Kshetra. What is the Kshetra called? That Kshetra is called the body. The Jiva is working through this body. Okay. Who are the knower of this body? The super soul and the soul are knower of this body. What is Jnana? Jnana means to know about the soul and super soul. And this Kshetra, it's called the Jnana. So Jnana is to understand about the Kshetra and Kshetragya. It's called Jnana. And what is Gayam? Gayam is goal of the knowledge. That is the Paramatma, is the ultimate goal of knowledge. Okay. So these things are there. 6 questions. Okay. Now, this material nature is made of 24 elements. In sloka number 6 to 7, Krishna describes all those elements, 24 elements. So this material nature is made of 24 elements. Too many elements, it seems. So many elements are there, it seems. Okay. But be with me. I will try to remember all the 24 elements slowly. Okay. So let's see what are those 24 elements which are making this material nature. So this material world are made of 24 elements. So what are those 24 elements? Let's see. Everyone knows the 5 gross elements. This material nature is made of 5 gross elements. Okay, that is earth, water, fire, air, and ether. These are called gross elements. Gross body. It makes our gross body. Okay. Then after 5 gross elements, there are knowledge acquiring senses. Everyone knows this also. That is eyes, nose, ear, tongue, and skin. So these are knowledge acquiring senses. Jnanendriya. Okay. Eye, nose, ear, tongue, and skin. So 5 gross elements are there: earth, water, fire, air, ether. And 5 knowledge acquiring senses are there: eye, nose, ear, tongue, and skin. If there are knowledge acquiring senses, there must be the object of the senses. Just like eyes are there to see something, there must be something. Okay. So if eyes are there, there must be a form. Some form should be there, something should be there to see. So object of the senses for eye is the form. For nose, if nose is there, there must be some object of the senses, that is smell. So there must be some smell also. For ear, the object of the senses is sound. For tongue, the object of the senses is taste. And for skin, the object of the senses is touch. Okay. So for eye, form is there, nose, smell is there, ear, sound is there, tongue, taste is there, skin, touch is there. So these are called object of the senses. So 15 elements we have learned till now. 5 are the gross elements, 5 are the knowledge acquiring senses, 5 are the object of the senses. Then there are working senses with which we work, like the hand, legs. Okay. So the voice is the working senses, legs and hand is the working senses. Okay. Voice, legs, hand, and then anus and genitalia, reproductive organs and evacuating organs. So these are called working senses. So 5 are the working senses. Okay. So till now we have seen the 20. 5 are the working senses. So these are some of the 20 elements. These are the 20 elements. Now 4 more elements are there. What are these 4 elements? These are called subtle elements: mind, intelligence, and false ego. These 3 things are making our subtle body, if you remember. Okay. Subtle body is made of these 3 things: mind, intelligence, and false ego. 7th chapter we have learned mind, intelligence, and false ego. So these are the subtle elements. And there is one more thing that is called unmanifested or pradhan, which is the main material element, which is coming out from the Karno Dakshaya Vishnu. Okay, Goloka chart we have not learned. In the Goloka chart, if you have learned, if you have seen that Goloka chart, there the unmanifested or pradhan or unmanifested or main material elements comes. Okay, so that is the unmanifested or the pradhan part, the unmanifested part. So with this, these are the 24 elements. Okay, and these 24 elements, their interactions bring happiness, their interaction brings distress, hatred, desire. Okay, so these things, the hatred, love, desire, happiness, these comes from the interaction of these 24 elements. Okay, so these are the 24 elements and their interactions. So let's see, let's read from here. The 5 great elements, that is the 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, ether, false ego, intelligence, and unmanifested. So false ego, unmanifested, and intelligence. The 10 senses, these are the 10 senses: knowledge acquiring and the working senses. 5 sense objects, these are the 5 sense objects. Then desire, hatred, happiness, distress, and aggregates, the life symptom and convictions. So these are the interactions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activity and its interactions. Okay, so these are the 24 elements which make this material world. To revise that, it's quickly in the different form. Okay, quickly summarize that in different form. So we have 5 gross elements: earth, water, fire, air, and ether. We have the knowledge acquiring senses. We have eyes, ear, nose, tongue, and touch. We have the working senses: voice, legs, hand, evacuating organs, and reproductive organs. Then we have object of the senses. For eyes, there is some form. For ear, there is some sound. For nose, there is some smell. For tongue, there is some taste. For skin, there is some touch. Okay. And then in between, you can see 4 more, that is mind, intelligence, false ego, and the pradhan or the unmanifested. Pradhan, unmanifested. Okay. So these are the 24 elements, and these are the result of interaction of these 24 elements: pleasure, pain, desire, hatred. Okay. So these are the result of interaction of these 24 elements. So these are the things which are there inside our body, but 2 more things are there. One is the super soul inside our heart and the spirit soul. 26 elements are there total. 24 are the material element, 2 are the soul and the super soul. Okay, so this body is having 26 things. Okay. So that was the wise questions. Now we are moving to the items of the knowledge. Arjuna again pondered, how do I cultivate, understand this knowledge? Okay. So we have seen once how to cultivate this knowledge. Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevya. Surrender to a spirit, surrender to a person who knows the truth, inquire from him submissively and serve him. Okay. Now again, Arjuna is thinking, how can that knowledge be cultivated? Okay. So how can I understand this Bhagavad Gita knowledge? With mood of surrender and faith. We have learned this in the first class, that faith is important to understand this knowledge. Surrender, ultimate surrender to Lord Sri Krishna is important to understand this knowledge. Then comes the personal character and practical behavior. Whatever the learnings you are learning, you should apply in your life. Okay, personal character and practical behavior. And with this, we will be able to develop the divine qualities. Okay, so now let's see what are the items of the divine quality or the knowledge. Okay. So the second part, we are seeing the knowledge part. Okay. So many terms. Again, 20 elements. We cannot discuss 20 elements all. Okay. Let's see what are the 20 elements. Then what are the important things we'll discuss. Okay. So 20 elements of knowledge are there. Krishna says these are the 20 elements of knowledge, and we should be striving for these 20 elements. Anything other than that is ignorance. Okay. Many things we learn in the science and those things, they are diverting us to the material world. Okay. So actually that is not the knowledge. That is called other than the knowledge. Actual knowledge is these things we should be developing. Okay. What are these things? Humility is the actual knowledge. Okay. Pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, accepting a spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of sense objects, absence of false ego, perception of evil of birth, death, disease, and old age, detachment, no entanglement with wife, children, etc., even-mindedness, unalloyed devotional service, ananya bhakti, aspiring to live in a solitary place, detachment from the general masses, accepting the importance of self-realization and philosophical search for the absolute truth. 20 elements are there. Okay. Out of these, one element is the most important element. Can you tell me out of these 20 elements, which one you think is the most important elements? Yes. Just mention the number. Which one you think is the most important element?
Prabhuji, number 1.
Okay, one answer we have is number 1. Humility. Suraj Prabhu has answered. One answer is number 6. Santosh Prabhu is answering number 6. Any other answer? Swati Mataji is saying number 16. Yes, number 16 is the most important. Okay. Correct answer by Swati Mataji. Swati Mataji is saying unalloyed devotional service. Yes, this is the most important thing. Okay. If you think, if you understand that if you have this quality, unalloyed devotional service, you can develop all the other qualities. Okay. If a person is devoted to Lord, okay, he can have humility, he can have pridelessness, he can have non-violence, everything he will develop. Okay. That's why the most important element is 16. But to develop the 16 number, 6 is required. Okay. Accepting a spiritual master is required. Many people, they ask whether it is important to accept a spiritual master. Yes, definitely. Okay. This material science, we are so dull in our mind is so dull. We cannot understand the simple things. We need, for material education, we need some teachers, we need the school, we need tuition, so many things we need for the material education. The spiritual education is far more complicated. Okay. And who is going to teach us that? The spiritual master can teach us that. The person who has realized the truth, that can teach us. Okay. That's why Krishna says in chapter number 4, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. We have to accept a spiritual master, surrender to him completely, and ask from him submissively and serve him. Okay. So accepting a spiritual master is also the important point. So 2 are the most important thing. One is called unalloyed devotional service, and second is accepting a spiritual master. Okay. So now, this is the next slide where we see the jiva in this material world. Okay. What is the condition of jiva in this material world? We'll understand through this example which comes in Mahabharata. Okay. So this story comes from the Mahabharata. Let me tell you the story so that you can correlate that story with our life. Okay. Once a person was going through the jungle. Okay. So when he was going through the jungle, he saw there is a mad elephant which is running behind him. Okay. So he started running. Mad elephant was running behind it. He was following him. Okay. Mad elephant. So what he did, he climbed one tree. Okay. The person climbed the tree. The mad elephant also came there. Okay. So so the person was climbing. The person has climbed the tree, and ultimately, like, he hanged himself with a branch. You can see in this picture, is a branch is there. Okay, where he hanged himself, and the mad elephant came and he stand behind the tree. Okay, so this person is hanging himself with the branch, and mad elephant is not running away. Okay, so that was one problem. The mad elephant is there. If he goes, he will kill. The mad elephant is going to kill the elephant, the person. Okay, so he cannot get out. Second thing is, he just saw that where he was hanging, there is snakes are there. Just below that, there is a well. And in the well, there are snakes are there. alligator. One alligator is also there. Snakes are also there. Okay. So that is also a problem. Okay. There is mad elephant. There are snakes. There are alligators. So this was another problem. Just now, then again he saw that the branch on which he was hanging himself, there are two mice are there. Okay. And they are cutting down the tree branch. One more problem. Okay. He's hanging himself in the branch and these mice are cutting down the branch. Okay. Then he saw that there honey bees are there, which are coming and biting the person. Okay. You see the honeybees everywhere, they are biting the person. One more problem. So he cannot stay also there. Okay. So the person is full of problem. The mad elephant is there. The snakes and alligators are there. The ultimately, if he's not getting down, also there are the mice are there who are cutting down the branch. Ultimately, he's going to come down. Even when he's hanging himself, there are problems in the form of honeybees, which are biting the person. Okay, full of problem. Okay. Then he was thinking how to get out from here. Okay, he saw that supreme person is there who is coming. He's giving the hand to that person. Okay, you are in problem, full of problem. You come with me. Okay, so he's giving the hand to the person. But when person saw the supreme person, then and there only he tasted some like something sweet is coming on the tongue. Okay. Then he lifted his head and saw that there are beehives. Beehives are there just above the head of the person. And when the person was hanging himself, he was positioned in such a way that the honey that they are coming directly on the tongue of the person. So the person is tasting the honey. Aha, very tasty. Very tasty. Okay. So he's tasting one drop, again one drop, again one drop, like that. The drops and drops of honey is coming. You can see in the picture, the drops are coming. Okay. So this is the beehives from where the honey drops are coming drop by drop. And this person is tasting the honey and is forgetting every problem. Big problems are there, but he's forgetting every problem. He's just engaging himself in tasting of the honey. This is the story of ours. We are in this material world. We are also full of problems. Okay. What are the problems? So let's see. These two mice are like day and night. Okay. This is the day and this is the night. They are cutting down our branch of life. Ultimately, we are going to die. Okay. And these two mice are cutting down the day and the night, day and the night. They're cutting our branches of life. Okay. These small honeybee are daily problems we're having. Sometimes we'll go to office, some fight will happen. Sometimes in the home, some fight will happen. Sometimes we meet some small accidents. Okay. So small problems comes daily. Okay. Big problems are there in the life, which are in the form of these snakes, alligators. Okay. Big problems are also there. Janma Mrityu Jara Vyadhi is there. That is also the big problems are there in our life. So small problems are there. Our life is coming, getting shortened. Big problems are there. Small problems are there. But ultimately there is death. This mad elephant is like death, which is ultimately going to kill us. Okay. So mad elephant is also there. But we are forgetting every problem. And we are just trying to taste the honey, taste little bit of so-called happiness from this material world. And we are forgetting everything. Lord is there in the form of Paramatma inside our heart. Outside there is in the form of Guru. Bhagavad Gita is there. So many things are there to remind us that we are part and parcel of Lord, and we can go to Lord. Lord is giving us the hand, but we are not giving our hand to the Lord. We are just tasting little bit honey. Okay. So we are happy like that. Okay. So we are forgetting everything and we are just reminding, We are just tasting the honey and we are forgetting everything. Major problems are there in our life. Okay. So that is the thing. So that is the problem of our material jiva in this material world. Okay. So there are real problems are there. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi is the real problem. Everyone has to suffer from that. So there are real problems in our life. There are temporary problems like birth, death, old age, and disease. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. Everyone has to pass these four things. Okay. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi. In this material world, if jiva comes, he has to pass through those four things. That is the real problems. And no one can solve this problem. Real problem. These problems cannot be solved. Everyone has to suffer this. Okay. And there are temporary problems also. Okay. Some people may have food problems, some people shelter problems, some people clothing problem. Okay. Roti, kapda, makan. So these some people will have, some people have money problem. Okay. So these are called temporary problems. Sometimes it will be there. For some people it will be there, some people it won't be there. But main problem, the real problems, everyone is suffering from these real problems. Okay. So these are the real problems. Okay. So those are the real problems. Now we are going to move about the soul and super soul. These are the two knowers of our body. Who are the knowers of this kshetra? So knowers are two. One is this body. One is the soul and the super soul. These two knows about this body. But there is difference between the knowing of these things two. What is the difference? We'll understand through this tabular form. Okay. So very nicely we have arranged in the tabular form from sloka number 13 to 19. We see soul and the super soul. What is the difference between the soul and the super soul? Two things are there in the heart. What is the difference? So living entity is called the Jivatma or the soul. Okay. And Paramatma is the super soul. Who is the Paramatma? God, the Supreme Lord, who is the maintainer, is known as Paramatma. And living entity is called Jivatma. The Jiva is called Jivatma and Paramatma is called super soul. Okay. So the soul and the super soul, Jivatma and Paramatma. Then second point, individual knower of own body. Soul knows about this, our body. Okay. So soul is knowing the body. But super soul, about the super soul, if you see, super knower, he is the super knower. Soul is the individual knower, but super soul is the super knower of everyone and everything. Everyone and everything. So these 2 points are very important. Okay, let's see. Soul knows only about the body in which the soul is there. But a super soul knows every body which is there in this material world or the spiritual world. Okay. So we know about our body. The soul know about our body. But super soul not about me, the other person, every person which is there in this world. The super soul know about everyone. Just like the farmer knows about his field only. But king knows about every field which is there in his kingdom. Okay. So super soul is knower of everyone and everything. Everything means, see, the soul can control this body. Soul knows about this body, but doesn't know fully. Okay. We don't know. We just eat the things. How the things are getting digested, how the things are getting assimilated, how the things are nutrition is going through all the body, how the body is getting nourished, how the things are working. We don't know. We cannot control also. We cannot control our heartbeat. We cannot control the digestion process. Once we eat, things are going to digest. We cannot control. Heart, we cannot control our heart. We cannot stop it. We cannot like raise it, decrease it like that. Okay. So who is controlling all these things? We cannot control. Even we cannot control our body. Who is going to control this? Who is controlling these things? The super soul is controlling everything. Okay. So individual knower of one body, but not fully. But super soul knows about everyone and everything. Okay. Soul is the secondary proprietor of one body. We are not owner of this body. Owner is something different. Okay. The supreme proprietor of all the body is super soul. Okay. The supreme proprietor is Lord. This body belongs to him. We are the secondary proprietor, not the original proprietor. Okay. We are secondary controller of the senses of this body, but Supreme Lord is the controller of all the senses of the body. All the senses. And one more, is the similarity also is there, soul and super soul. That is Satchidanand. The quality of the soul is Satchidanand. The quality of super soul is also Satchidanand. So quality wise, the soul and super soul, if you see, they're equal. Satchidanand. Sat means eternal. Sat means Satya, eternal. Chit means knowledge, and bliss is the Anand. So these are the three qualities of the soul, and these are the also quality of the super soul. So quality wise, soul and super soul is equal. Quantity wise, there is difference. Okay. Soul is controlled by the material nature, Maya, but the super soul is controller of Maya and the material nature. Super soul controls the Maya, super soul controls the material nature. Soul is innumerable living entities are there. So many souls are there in this material world. But super soul is only one. He resides in everyone's heart, but actually everyone is one. Okay. So although he resides in everyone, he is only one. Okay. If two people are there in this room, so how many living entity? So two souls are there and only one super soul is there. So three are there. Okay. So although he resides in everyone, he is only one. Soul is very small. Quantity wise, soul is Anu, like Anu. The dimension is also mentioned 1 upon 10,000 tip of the hair. 10,000 part of the tip of hair is the dimension of the soul. Super soul is infinite, Vibhu. Okay. He is the supreme master, super soul. And soul is the subordinate of the super soul. Okay. So these are the difference between the soul and the super soul. Now the lastly, enjoyer and the Jnana Chakshu. The material nature and the living entities should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformations and the mode of matter are products of material nature. The Jiva in this material world are both material nature and the living entity are eternal. Lord is the supreme Purusa, but Jiva is trying to lord over his position in this material world, and nothing happens by chance, as the cause and the effect are both handled by the material nature. Let's try to understand. Both material nature and Jiva is eternal. Okay. The Jiva as well as material nature are eternal. It is not like these are the temporary. These are temporary. This is our temporary home, but this is also eternal. But this is ever changing. Okay. So the material nature as well as living entity both are eternal. That is first point. Second, Lord is the supreme Purusa, and we are like Purusha who are trying to enjoy this material world. Sorry. So there are two types of Purusha is there. One Purusha is us who is trying to enjoy this material nature, and second is the supreme Purusha who is enjoying everything. Okay. And the third thing is nothing happens by chance, as cause and effect both are handled by the material nature. Very important point. Okay. Many people think that why bad things are happening to us? We have not done any bad thing to other people. Why good things are happening to other people? They are very bad. Okay. Like that they will think. But the thing is, nothing happens by chance. Whatever you do, you will get the result. That is for sure. Okay. This material nature is very perfect. Whatever you do, you will get the result. Same result. Very perfect. Okay. Like it is like that. If you are touching a wire, okay, naked wire, you will get the current for certain. This is for certain. But immediately you will get the result. That's why you understand that we are getting the result immediately. That is for sure. Okay. That is for sure. So something we can see immediately. Some things will take time. Some things we may take like years. Sometimes it may take birth. Okay. We are doing something today, we'll get the result in next life, maybe next life or next to next life. But nothing happens by chance. Whatever we do, we get the result. Okay. If we are doing the good things, we'll get the good results. Maybe tomorrow, maybe day after tomorrow, maybe after 10 days, maybe after 1 life, maybe after 2 life, maybe after 100 lives. But we are sure to get whatever we are getting the results today. That is due to whatever we have done in the past. Okay. Nothing happens in this world as a chance. Nothing is randomly happening to us. This material nature is very perfectly working. Okay. Under the direction of Supreme. Whatever we do, we get the result. Okay. If we are doing bad, we'll get the bad result. If we are doing the good, we'll get the good results. If you are doing the akarma, then Krishna is directly taking over. Okay, directly taking over akarma. So that is the thing. So why good things happens to bad people? Because they must have done something good in the past. That's why they are happening. They are having something good. Okay. So do we really have freedom, and are we really enjoying here? Okay. So the influence of material nature is described here. 13.22. Purusha prakriti asto hi bhunkate prakriti jangunan karanam guna sango ashashad ashadyoni janmashu. The living entity in the material nature thus follows the wage of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. Thus he meets with good and evil among various species. The material nature. Okay. Material nature handles the cause and effect. Okay. You see this, the person, we think that we are free, but we are working under the modes. You see the three things. These are called modes of material nature. That is Maya, Satogun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. They are making us work. Okay. We are like puppet on the hand of the three gunas, which is in the next chapter. 14th chapter is the three modes of material nature. So we work like a puppet under the modes of material nature, Satugun, Rajagun, and Tamagun. Okay. That is the influence of material nature. How they control us. That we are going to learn in tomorrow. Okay. The 14th chapter. So the jiva in this material world is dependent. The living entity is the cause of material suffering and enjoyment. So jiva is not free in this material. We are not free. We are working under the modes of material nature. Okay. So that was the jiva. What is the super soul part? Function of super soul. Okay. Upadishtanu mantacha bharta bhokta maheshwaraha parmatmeti chapi ukto dehe ashmin purusha paraha. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer, permitter, and who is known as the super soul. So there is super soul. What is the function? It is described here. It is just like it is described that two birds are sitting on a tree. Okay. One bird is trying to enjoy the fruits from the tree. Sometimes some sweet fruits are there, sometimes some sour fruit are there. But that bird is enjoying the fruits. The second bird is doing nothing. It's just observing the first bird. Okay. But the first bird is engaged in enjoying the fruits of the tree. He's not even looking towards the first bird, towards the second bird. Okay. So who are these two birds? The first bird is the jiva who is trying to enjoy this material world. And the second bird is the Krishna as the Paramatma form inside our heart. Krishna is the perfect friend. Okay. He is with us from the time immemorial in the form of super soul. Krishna doesn't leave us alone in this material world. When Krishna sends us to this material world with the soul, there is always a super soul. Super soul is always there. But the jiva, what he is doing is he's just trying to enjoy this material nature. He's not even looking at the super soul. Krishna is sitting very close to us in the form of super soul. We just have to turn our mouth towards Krishna, turn our head towards Krishna. And who can turn our head towards Krishna? A bona fide guru, okay, spiritual master can turn our head through his instruction towards Krishna. Okay, so spiritual master can turn our head towards Krishna through his instruction. When we follow the instruction of Guru, when we follow the instruction of a spiritual master, through following those instructions, we turn our head towards Krishna. Okay. Otherwise, we are enjoying these fruits of this material nature. Sometimes sour fruits, sometimes good fruits, sometimes this type, that type fruits. Krishna is sitting close, very close to us in the heart. We are not looking at Krishna. Okay. How we can understand that? Tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Okay. So, yet in this body, there is another transcendental enjoyer. Who is the transcendental enjoyer inside our body? That is the super soul, the Paramatma, who is the Lord and the supreme proprietor, who exists as overseer and permitter. So, you see, So super soul is overseer. He is seeing everything very minutely. Whatever we are thinking, he knows that. Whatever we are doing, he knows that. We may show to outside world something different, but what we are inside, super soul knows that. He knows everything. He is very minutely observing everything. So he is overseer. He is seeing everything about us. Okay. Second thing is permitter. He is permitting. Okay. So if you remember, there are three doers. One is the soul, second is the super soul, and third is the material nature. So super soul permitter. Okay, it is shown here. Three doers, soul and the super soul. If you see super soul sanction, what is the meaning of sanction? Super soul is permitter. He permits the desires, what we are doing. So soul is doing the desires, utilizing his free will. But the super soul sanctions, permits that desire based on our desire and based on our past karma. Okay. So super soul's one role is permitter. So who is the super soul? What super soul is doing? He is overseeing us. He is permitting. And lastly, he is the supreme enjoyer. Ultimately, who is the enjoyer of this everything? Supreme soul is the enjoyer. Who is the Param Purusha? Who is enjoying everything? That is the super soul. Okay. That is the super soul. So super soul is overseer, permitter, and supreme enjoyer. Now the cycle of birth and death, Janma, Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi is there. One who understands this philosophy concerning the material nature, the living entity and interaction of the modes of material nature is sure to attain liberation. One who understands these things, this philosophy, they will sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth again regardless of his present position. So what is the meaning of liberation? Not taking birth again to this material world. Once we take surrender, once we understand our real nature, once we understand who are we are not like enjoyer here. Ultimate enjoyer is Krishna. We need to serve him. One who understands this philosophy, one who understands who is actually the knower, who is actually the soul and the super soul, and we are different from this body. This body is different, soul is different, super soul is different. And what is their role? One who understands that, he won't take birth again in this material world. Okay. How can we make this cycle disappear then? Then Mrityu, Jara, Vyadhi, this cycle is very dangerous. So lastly, Krishna is describing what the true seer part, 13.28. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishthantam parmeshwaram vinashyantasva avinashyantam yash pashyati sa pashyati. One who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul within the destructible bodies ever destroys, actually sees. After attaining the knowledge, who is the actual seer? Who sees that everyone is equal? Who sees that this body is not our permanent home. This is temporary. And everyone is the same condition. Everyone's body is not the permanent home. Everyone is in temporary condition. Actually, they are something different. Actually, they are soul. And the soul is part and parcel of the supreme soul. And every heart there is supreme soul and there is soul. Both are there. So he sees not the temporary manifestation, not the temporary body. He sees that this person is a soul, this animal is a soul, and super soul is also accompanying that soul. Okay. So he is not seeing the destructible body. He is not seeing the temporary body. He is seeing the actual thing. He is seeing that this person is a soul, and with the soul there is super soul. That person is the actual seer. That person is called that knowledgeable person. He is actual seer. He actually sees. Okay. Then two more examples Krishna is giving. He says, the sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, although situated in that body. You see this? There are clouds are there in the sky. Although the clouds are there in the sky only, but the cloud doesn't mix with the sky. Similarly, the person who in the Brahman vision, who knows his actual position, who knows that he is his soul, he is not his body. He knows that he is a farmer, not the field. That person, even though he is in the body, the soul is in the body, he doesn't mix with the body. His conception is different. He understands that he is not a body, his soul. Just like the cloud is different, the sky is different. Okay, sky is different. Sky is all pervading, cloud is also there, but the cloud and sky doesn't mix. Similarly, the person in Brahman vision who is in this body doesn't mix with the body. He identifies himself as soul, not the body. Proves here, Jnana Chakshu. Okay. Second example Krishna is giving. O son of Bharat, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by the consciousness. One small sun is there, which is illuminating every planet. If you see, so many planets are there, 8, 9. Illuminating sun is illuminating everything. If there is no sun, there is no light. So one sun is illuminating all the planet. Similarly, the body is having the soul. Soul is very minute, but due to its nature, the soul is illuminating all the body. Body seems to be moving due to the soul. Just like if clothes, I am wearing the cloth and I'm moving, the cloth seems to be moving also. But cloth doesn't have the movement capacity. This body is moving, that's why cloth seems to be moving. If the cloth is lying on the bed, cloth is not moving. Okay. If the cloth is on my body, then cloth seems to be moving. Similarly, this body seems to be moving because there is super soul. There's soul and the super soul. If soul is not there inside the body, this body is dead, just like the cloth. Only living thing inside the body is the soul. If the soul is not there inside the body, then body is dead. Okay. So consciousness, from where the consciousness is coming? Just like the sun is illuminating all the sky, the consciousness, the soul is illuminating whole body due to its consciousness. Okay. So as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so does the living entity, one within the body, illuminate the entire body by the consciousness. Okay. Jnana Chakshu. Kshetra Kshetragyor evam antaram Jnana Chakshusha bhuta prakriti mokshamsa ye viduryanti te param. Those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage in this material nature, attains to the supreme goal. Understanding the difference between the body and the soul and the super soul. The body is different from the soul. We think that we are this body, but actually this body is very temporary. We see that this person is this, the person's name is this person is different, this person is like this, but this person is also in the temporary body. That body is also going to destruct. He is actually something different person. The person who has this knowledge that we are all part and parcel of Krishna, and we are here in this temporary body. Just like when we play something, some play we do, okay, we take different role, but actually we are something different. Okay, the person who knows everyone, he will see that, okay, this person is maybe playing the part of this person, but this person is actually this person. Okay, that is the thing. We may be playing different parts, but actually we are all part and parcel of Krishna. That is our reality. That is our equivalency. That is our equalness of everyone. Okay, that is the thing. And that person who is able to see that thing in everyone, that is the actual seer. One who has this knowledge, he can see that everyone is equal through that knowledge. That is called the Jnana Chakshu. Okay. So with this, we in our chapter, let's summarize what we have learned. We started with the wise question. Arjuna is asking 6 questions. What are those questions? First is, what is this material nature? This Prakriti is this material nature. Second is, what is Purusha? The Jiva or the enjoyer of this material nature is the Purusha. Third is, what is the Kshetra? This body is the Kshetra where work is being done by the Jiva. And who is the knower of this Kshetra? Means Kshetragya. The soul and the super soul are the knower of this Kshetra. And lastly, what is the Gyan and Gayam? So Gyan is the knowledge about the Kshetra. Soul and the super soul is called the Gyan. 20 elements of Gyan is there. And lastly, what is the aim of the Gyan? What is the actual goal of the Gyan? What is the Gayam? The Paramatma is the Gayam. Okay. So those were the 6 questions and answers. Then we move to the items of the knowledge. Krishna described 20 items of the knowledge. Out of those, 2 things are very important. that is unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and second is the accepting the spiritual master. Then the difference between the soul and super soul we have seen. The soul is part and parcel of the Supreme Soul. Soul is the controller of this body, but the super soul is controller or the ultimate controller or full controller of this body, as well as controller of everybody. Everybody. Okay. The soul is very minute. The super soul is like unlimited, infinite. Okay. Soul is both quality wise, both are same, Satchidanand, but quantity wise, there is difference. Okay. So these type of differences we have seen between the soul and the super soul. Lastly, we have seen the enjoyer and the Jnana Chakshu. With the Jnana Chakshu, we can see that whatever person we are seeing, they are equal. They may be living in the temporary body. They may be playing some different roles. We are also playing some different role. But actually, we are all equal. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are part and parcel of Krishna. We are actually the soul. We are part and parcel of Krishna. And with the soul, everyone is having the super soul. His ultimate friend is there. Ultimate friend. He is the overseer. He is the permitter and supreme enjoyer. He is not leaving us alone. He is always with us. What we have to do is we have to move our head towards Krishna. Who is going to move our head towards Krishna? The supreme, the bona fide guru can move our head towards Krishna through our instructions. So whatever instruction he gives, we have to serve them. Sevaya, we have to serve the instruction. We have to serve the supreme person. Then he can move our head towards Krishna. Okay, that is required. So with this, we end our chapter. I'll unmute every person to chant with me once. Okay. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Okay. So do we have any question? Very few participants are there. If any questions there, we can.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes, Prabhuji, please ask.
Prabhuji, it's not related to the chapter. I just wanted to ask you, even if we have to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, even for the at least 12 times, as in like on if we cannot do it 108. So do we need to? Is it compulsory to chant the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu mantra as well?
I didn't got your question, Prabhu. You are saying that you wanted to chant 12 times something like that. You told.
So sometimes I'm in the car, so at least on count of 12 I chant. Sometimes in the morning, so I after I take shower and everything, so that 108 8 times I chant. So I use the Chaitanya mantra also. So but is it like if I have to if I'm in the car, if I try to chant for like about 12 counts, so is it okay to chant the Chaitanya mantra as well?
So Panchatattva, that is called Panchatattva mantra, Prabhu. So the thing is, full day you can chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is no restriction, but at least 10 minutes you should have in the morning, so that you can exclusively
I do 108. I do 108, but
so
like
that time you can chant. You can chant like Panchatattva mantra, or it is better to remember Chaitanya Mahaprabhu before chanting the mantra. Okay.
Even if it's for 12 counts also.
12 counts, it will take like 1 minute. Okay. 12 counts, it will take 1 minute. So 1 minute you can, before that you can chant once the Panchatattva mantra.
Yeah. Okay. Sure, Prabhu. Thank you, Ji.
Yes. Okay. So very few participants. I don't think there is any question. Prabhu, what we should do?
No
Hare
question,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Chanda Mataji. Shall we end the session?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll end the session. Okay. Thank you very much. Shrividya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, so much.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you,
Uh,
Akash Prabhu. Thank you, Murli
Hare
Prabhu,
Krishna,
Chandamati.
Prabhuji.
So, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।